Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a short video about the Gran Turismo Concept press pack. Now this again would have been distributed to journalists before the game came out, and it contains information, screenshots and even a video about the game. So just to clarify, this game is the 2002 Tokyo Geneva version, which is the version of Gran Turismo Concept which went on sale in Europe. Originally it came out in 2001 in Japan and was called Gran Turismo Concept Tokyo Collection, and then it would later be released in South Korea as Gran Turismo Concept 2002 Tokyo Seoul. So this is actually the third installment of this game, and as I said, it was released in Europe. To my knowledge, the game wasn't released in North America before. So if you're not really too familiar with the game, basically it's a Gran Turismo game that's in an arcade mode style, with licenses still. So there's kind of concept cars that have gone on to since been put into production. There's concept cars that never really made it, and there's also kind of race cars and I guess kind of an early version of Vision Gran Turismo in a way. There's race cars on the game that didn't actually exist but instead were created by the Gran Turismo team. So anyway, so we're going to be doing a video about the press pack. So as you can see, it's just like a cardboard kind of pack with two discs inside. There we go. So one contains like press materials and the other contains a video of the game, so like a trailer. Now I have seen versions of this press pack that came in like a metal container that you have to like undo with Allen keys and stuff. So it's unclear whether this pack that I'm holding here originally had one of those with it and has since been lost down the years, or whether this was simply distributed on its own. But either way, we've got the important bits in there, the discs. So let's check them out. So we're on the press disc now, first of all, and the first thing to check out is this document. It tells you a bit about Kazunori's background, the games he's been involved with, and a little bit about his life too, which is quite cool. And you've actually got two images to accompany this. There's one of Kazunori as a child in a toy car, and there's another of him now. Or, well, I say now, it would be back in 2002 when the game originally came out. And here you've also got some high-res screenshots of the game. So you can see the concept skyline there and the concept skyline race car behind it. Concept art of the box, which would look very similar to how it does on the final version of the game, just with more text added in at a later date. So you've got more concept cars there, like the NSX prototype, and the actual real-life concept skyline there. The Toyota Pod, I don't think that was involved in any other Gran Turismo game apart from this one. The Honda Dual Note and the Lancer Evo Rally Car, which I think went on to appear in many more Gran Turismo games after this. So after this you've got a logo for the game. It's interesting to see that the background colour doesn't really seem to match what it was on the final version of the game, but maybe that's just the box and maybe it just differed. And you've also got a load of screenshots of cars in the game. Unfortunately, way too many to go through in all one go, so I'll just take you through a few of them now. So this was the first appearance of the Audi TT. I think it went on to race in German touring cars, or at least the Audi TT in general, not necessarily with that livery, went on to race in German touring cars. And you've also got Lotus, Mercedes, almost every manufacturer that appeared on the game. But as far as I know, not all of these cars were playable on the final version, at least. A lot of the cars that you see on the final version of the game were actually reused from Gran Turismo 3, some of them not being playable. Another thing to note is the blue Zonda there. I think that's a colour scheme that only appeared on Gran Turismo Concept and wouldn't be replicated on other Gran Turismo games after this. An example there being the 206 rally car of a car that was involved in Gran Turismo 3 and went on to feature in Gran Turismo Concept, but wasn't actually playable. Presumably this would be playable with cheat discs though, and cheat codes, as it is obviously present on the game, it's just not drivable as standard. So there's the European cars, now let's check out the Japanese ones. Of course, you've also got some racing cars in the game, such as the R2 NSX there. And again, I'll have to remind myself whether that car actually featured on the final game. I know that a lot of NSXs did actually feature, such as the Loctite NSX, which you can see there. The Mobile 1 NSX featured, and so did the Raybrig NSX. But I'm having difficulty remembering like how many more were on the game. There was of course the NSX Type R and the NSX Type R prototype race car as well. They both featured, as well as the road version as well. They were three really cool cars, I do remember those fondly. And of course the NSX is actually making a comeback in real life at the moment, so I'm excited to see that. And there's the Mazda Tenza LM Edition. That was a car that was exclusive to Gran Turismo Concept 2001 Tokyo Collection. I'm not sure whether it appeared on Tokyo Seoul or not, but it definitely did appear on the original version of Gran Turismo Concept. However, when we actually got Gran Turismo 2002 Tokyo Geneva, it had actually been changed to a yellow and blue colour scheme. So it's quite weird to see how the image was included in this press disc, considering that it is for 2002 Tokyo Geneva. And one of the Pennzoil Nismos there, that one actually has Zexel sponsors on it as well. Spelt wrong in the file name there. There were actually two different Pennzoil Nismos on the game. There was the original one, just the completely yellow one, that appeared on Gran Turismo 2 and Gran Turismo 3. And then there was that one, which was split between Pennzoil and Zexel sponsoring as well. So it's quite cool that they had both of them made playable. Castrol Mugen NSX as well, I don't think that was actually playable on Gran Turismo Concept. So it's weird how they've all been included like this. And there's the original Pennzoil Nismo as well. And of course there were racing Toyotas on the game as well, such as the Surumo Supra, and there was also the Castrol Tom Supra. In fact, two of them actually featured on the game as far as I remember. The classic one and then the newer one. And the Esso Ultraflow Supra there, that's an interesting car. It actually featured on Gran Turismo 4, but I believe it only featured on the PAL version of the game, the European version, maybe on the Japanese version too. However, it was omitted from the North American version due to the fact that it had Esso sponsoring, and therefore they couldn't get the licenses for it. Weirdly though, on Gran Turismo 2 and 3, if a car had Esso logos, it would just be replaced with an Exxon version for the North American version of the game. So it's interesting to see how they didn't actually bother to do that here, but probably because the game was never ever set to release in North America for whatever reason. But they didn't decide to do it on Gran Turismo 4 either, as far as I know. It's interesting that the Ford GT is actually still called GT40 on the screenshots in this game. It may have just been called that during the development of the actual car in real life, before the name was actually subsequently changed to GT. And interestingly, you've actually got a car list here in the game. Another press disc that actually contained a similar list was the Simpsons Hit and Run press discs. I've recorded a video of that, so feel free to take a look if you're interested in the game. But this is another game that, or at least another press disc, that contained a full list of the cars that were set to appear in the game. So if you've got the time, you can pause the video at any time and just have a look. See if there's anything that you recognise as maybe being removed in there, or maybe just a car that perhaps wasn't playable in the end. It's interesting to see that all the cars here have notes as well, or at least some of them do, and some of them give you an insight into where the car actually made its first appearance, like for example at a motor show perhaps, where it was unveiled for the first time. And all the cars listed as a dream car are the ones that I liken to Vision Gran Turismo. Essentially they weren't real cars, it was just cars that the Gran Turismo team had kind of made up for this game, and I'm glad they did because there's some really cool designs in there. Another interesting thing as well is that it tells you which game certain cars first made an appearance on. So for example, cars listed as 2001 will have appeared on 2001 Tokyo Collection, whereas other ones may have appeared for the first time on Tokyo Seoul, and then finally on Tokyo Geneva. And there's also some more information about the game as well. So essentially how this game was marketed was just a more accessible version of Gran Turismo. So the whole game is kind of based off an arcade mode kind of style, doing away with most of the features of Gran Turismo mode, apart from the license tests. However, all the licenses on the game are full circuits, so you don't actually get any tracks or any tests like start and stop or slalom. They're all a lap of a full course. And the last thing to do is check out the video. Thanks for watching.
He's got a brand new car, looks like a Jaguar. It's got leather seats, it's got a CD player. you